A warm welcome, everyone, to today's live session, where you have the opportunity to gain insights into the SAP integrated toolchain. So today's session is part of an entire series on the theme of SAP Business Suite. And in the description of this video, you can find a link which leads you to our playlist where you can find all past as well as the upcoming sessions. So don't miss the opportunity to check this out and already save the upcoming sessions in your calendar, as well as have a look at the past ones from recent weeks. So I'm very glad today to have Mohan Yarama with us as expert. He's the Vice President and the head of the SAP Integrated Toolchain, and he's based out of Walldorf, Germany, where the SAP headquarters is located. So you, the participants, have the opportunity to ask questions by including them in the chat window, and we will pick them up right after the presentation part. So without any further ado, I would now like to hand it over to Mohan. And Mohan, the stage is all yours.
Thanks, Sunan. Thanks for the introduction. And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all the participants who are there on the call. I'm Mohan. I have around 20 years of experience in SAP, and right now I'm heading the SAP Integrated Toolchain. Today, the theme or the topic is today's transformation powers tomorrow's resilience. And we know that because we have heard a lot of tariffs around transformation, around technology, etc. So in the session today, you'll learn about the revamp strategy, which we also had announced at Sapphire, basically. And also, what are the paths to get to that destination? And how does SAP Integrated Toolchain makes that real in a confident way to achieve that. Yeah, this is what we see. And we wrap it up with a demo so that we make the things real. We see it in real. How does that fit into the one of the customer case, right? I mean, and how does we get to that destination in a confident way? And what do we achieve via doing that? Yeah. So without further ado, I deep dive. So as I mentioned, in this rapidly changing landscape today with the geopolitical challenges, etc., it's paramount that to be resilient, now we use technology, right? I mean, but every organization is aiming for 4 core outcomes from their transformation journeys, yeah, or the efforts. A clear operational baseline, the confident decision making, and the tighter business alignment within IT, because IT should be the technology which basically fulfills the business vision and not moving across the different directions. That is where we need that tighter alignment between the business and the IT. And the high level of adaptability, because being agile is not an option anymore. It's a mandatory. It's a capability, basically. Having said that, in reality, there is often a stark contrast between the goals and the current state, right? So based on different surveys, etc., we know that, for example, the cost of misalignment and the underused technology, it's anonymous to the tune of, for example, over 1 million in lost productivity per week. Beyond that, we have around 70% of the leaders admitting that their systems are too disconnected to support the real-time decision making. And 80% of them acknowledge that the siloed data is undermining their AI capabilities. And almost half of the business still on the legacy system and struggling to adopt the enterprise-wide AI, right? So while the North Star is clear, the statistics are a wake-up call. That is where the need for an agile business transformation at scale is paramount to maintain this competitiveness. So companies needs to move beyond this mindset of the on-premise, where a never touch a running system, for example, and also the isolated analytics. So now they require that interconnected, intelligent systems capable of predicting, adapting, and acting autonomously, right? For that, in the next era of the enterprise management, SAP helps these businesses to move to the system of agents, right? These collaborative agents do not merely automate, they work collectively across these silos, learn continuously from that, and then also act in real time to optimize these operations. With that, we have this business suite now with the whole strategy, the SAP Business Suite. This represents the future of enterprise management. It's a comprehensive, integrated set of solutions designed seamlessly, connecting and optimizing every function across your enterprise. As you see here, it's built on the business technology platform, which connects the SAP applications with the third-party tools, supporting that seamless integration through also the low-code and no-code development. And if you see, it's also powered by the Business Data Cloud, which unifies the data from both SAP and the third-party applications, turning that operational data into the actionable insights. And again, we cannot forget AI. It's embedded with business AI-powered processes, where Joule now is embedded directly into your core applications and also the third-party applications, making it omnipresent across the channels, right? And not the least, we have the Cloud ERP now, which is well connected with the LOB applications, well integrated with the LOB applications, creating that unified system. So that architecture ensures that every corner of your business operates in sync, helping you to unlock that agility and efficiency and maintain that continuous innovation. I underline that continuous innovation at scale, right? So with the SAP Business Suite, the businesses are not only just preparing for today's challenges, but they're laying that foundation for the opportunities with the AI and the further future, basically investments, right? So while we say that, finally, let's also talk about how do we get that. So the destination is clear, that is the SAP Business Suite. But we do have two paths with the RISE and RISE with SAP and the Grow with SAP, which provide the path for these businesses to adopt the SAP Business Suite. These journeys basically offer that modular, scalable approach for that digital transformation so that the organization of all sizes can embrace this innovation at your own pace, right? So it's not only just the pathways, but these journeys, both Rise and Grow, are the accelerators that help business unlock that full potential of the business suite. For example, we also have around 8,500 Rise customers who are live on Rise with SAP, with all the big names in the market there. And now, having said that, every organization today is clear on that destination, right? I mean, the future-ready enterprise built on a modern, agile digital core, but clarity on the destination alone isn't enough, right? To reach that North Star, basically you need the right vehicle. So if you think of a transformation as a space mission, ambition alone doesn't launch a rocket, right? I mean, you need the right engineering, propulsion, and controls, all of this coordinated and integrated perfectly. That's exactly what the SAP integrated tool chain now delivers. So it's not just a set of tools, it's kind of transformation shuttle, which is purpose built to help you confidently and efficiently move from a fragmented legacy or a monolithic landscape to an intelligent modular SAP business suite. So in short, it eliminates your complexity, reducing the risk so that your teams can focus on real innovation and not just a system migration. So as I said, the integrated tool chain itself is more than a toolkit. Basically, it's built into the RISE with SAP methodology so that we acquired solutions. For example, we acquired LeanIX, acquired Signavio, we did acquired recently WalkMe, etc. And we did have cloud native solution, which we built in-house with the Cloud ALM, SAP Build, BTP, and etc. So what we are doing with that is it's not about the tools, right? I mean, we do have competitor tools, etc., which brag about great analytics. But nobody says to maintain or to get to that analytics, there has to be a data, which in all the cases has been maintained manually. And then the cost of maintaining this tool itself is 10x more than the tool. And that multiplies when you have each of these vertical tools for each of the solutions. What we do at Integrated Toolchain is eliminate that So any data, be it you start your journey from the business point of view with SAP Signavio, or you start with an enterprise architecture with an LeanIX, up till the execution, product lifecycle management, or the application lifecycle management with the extensibility options, with the adoption, and with the testing, etc. From A to Z, we have that data flowing semantically through all these journeys, right? So we are acting upon a real-time data, and we are giving that confident visibility for both business and IT. And we are also evaluating the progress across these journeys and also realizing those values, which we also see it in the demo data. So having said that, so SAP Integrated Toolchain helps you unlock the value in 4 key dimensions: reduce cost of transformation, faster time to business value, increased business agility, and the faster continuous innovation. So if you take a case of a classical transformation across the axis of the cost and the time, basically, and split across these 3 phases, which is the discover and onboard, modernize and run, and the continuous innovation, now leveraging integrated tool chain, we deliver value, real business value, with a reduced cost of transformation up to 30%, faster time to business value up to 35%, and also most importantly, if you see these phases, we give that cushion for the continuous innovation at a much larger space, because then all the AI investments will come to life because we have the foundation there. We are moving to the clean core. Yeah, and we are making that transformation real in a confident way. And then that allows for that AI investment to bring it to life, right? Other than just polishing emails, which if we don't have the right foundation. So what we have across this tools and the phases, as you see here, we do have different tools connected. We do see that in real in the demo. So this is just a representation of what we have built in the integrated tool chain across the tools, and also basically the connections there or the integrations between these tools across these phases, right? And while doing that, leveraging the integrated tool chain and having the following the Rise with SAP methodology, which was nothing but an evolvement of the Activate, having that clean core quality gates right in middle of this phases. So it's imperative that if we follow that methodology and if we leverage this integrated tool chain, we are already moving to that destination of a clean core, which is paramount, right? I mean, to reap the benefits of the AI or to have the latest and greatest technologies working together and have that integrated SAP business suite. So we do have this Rise with SAP methodology validated partners and certified partners, which we work on, and also it's increasing in the time to come with those partners also, many of them adding to it. So I just wrap up my presentation here. I want you to see the real demo of that, so that we come to see what is in live, basically. So Sinan, if there are any questions, just let me know. I would just now share my screen on to the demo one.
Not yet. We can proceed with the demo.
Okay, that's perfect. So as you see here, I switch my screen. Basically, you move from this monolithic landscape into a modular business suite across these phases of discover on onboard, modernize and run, and continuously innovating it, right? I mean, and we also have the partners, wherein we have the qualified partners who are doing that, and also we have the Solix partners who bring in their expertise across the solutions as well. And we do have that engagement model with the architects and the advisors who streamline this services, basically. So what we have here is with the transition guidance. This transition guidance acts as your guide for your entire transformation journey, handholding you and seeing that value realized at each phase of this journey. So this also comes basically with Joule is integrated in all of these tools. So in the scenario today, I'm transforming a procurement process of a customer, which is heavily customized or built from the mergers and acquisitions and having SAP and non-SAP solutions, mix of that, but they do not see the value, right? I mean, so now how do we get this from a legacy to a SAP business suite, right? So I start with Joule. I asked Joule primarily, how could I modernize my complex landscape, right? Joule suggests run your process agent, understand how your business processes perform today, get a clarity of how your business processes perform today. For that, the whole consulting activity with expensive consultants in the past, right? To unlock where your value might be or where the issue might be would have taken weeks and costed you thousands of dollars, right? Now today, with the process agent, as I show you here, and with the results from the plug and gain in Signavio, and Signavio being application agnostic, so it reads the data from SAP and also from the non-SAP applications. You have the identified challenges right there. So saying where are the issues. So you see that low best run score of 31%, which is pretty much needs to be improved, right? So I click on that. Now we get into the details. We see that there is the low automation, there is the long cycle times, and with the process intelligence beneath it, we also see, this is pretty important, we also see the processes outside of SAP which are fragmented. So we do have SAP processes which are run on SAP, but most of them are also running on non-SAP applications. This is clear inefficiency now being exposed. And now let's try to understand. You see these applications here. Right now, you do not know because you're tracking the Signavio with the processes. So let us visualize what are this application or the landscape beneath it, which are causing that, right? So I call upon the EA agent now to give me that technical fit and the functional fit of these applications, which are supporting that processes, right? Now, with that activity, what I did so far, we have the business processes, understanding as is. We have the architecture landscape or the applications beneath that processes. Now it's time that we call upon the transformation agent. Why? Because we need to get to the business suite. We need to know what is the path forward. So that is where I call the transformation agent, again, leveraging Joule. There, now the transformation agent, through the data-driven insights, gives me a path forward, saying that it's system conversion paired with continuous innovation. Because the transformation agent knows that this isn't just a lift and shift, it's an enterprise-wide transformation touching each and every business processes in your business, right? So now, once the decision is made, once we have taken that decisions, now it's time to build the new foundation with architecture. Now it becomes very important. How do we do that, right? In the past, having this enterprise architecture or laying out that, it's weeks of workshops, right? Weeks of workshops with expensive consultants, etc., just to figure out what could be it. Today, again, I'm leveraging the EA agent, but we do have the reference catalog, as you see here. With the reference catalog, I get this proposed architecture with your fingertips. So it proposes to me from moving from a legacy to a more modular, clean core with a SAP Business Suite, having SAP S/4HANA sourcing and procurement, also the field glass and the Ariba for my use case. And now the beauty of the integration with the tools, right? I mean, we have this initiative in LeanIX. With one click of a button, the entire initiative and the roadmap is then captured for execution into Cloud ALM. In the Cloud ALM, as I mentioned, with the Rise with SAP methodology, you have the templates already predefined. You have the clean core quality gates, navigating to each of these phases, passing through the quality gates, getting you to the clean core. And also on top of that, you have the feasibility check, basically on your requirements from Clario, from Basis Technologies. This has an AI solution over collecting data of around 2 to 3 million transports from the customer of different sizes, evaluating your requirements and also mapping and basically on the risk assessment and also clean core verify. So that is what it comes with the Klaviyo. Now, having all that, it's with the CIOs or the decision makers or the business owners. They want to see the real business impact. That is where I call upon now the process agent, this time to do a comparison between the past processes and the processes which is going to be deployed. As you see here, we move from a legacy point of view, from the application to the processes which fit the business rate, right? And when it comes to the execution, we have this requirements, tasks, test cases, all on these process steps here. So nothing has been in isolation. Everything is there on that process box. So with the testing, we have Tricentis, and also with integrated with Cloud ALM and getting this transform data, test data from Synity, we can select the test path, we can publish, and we can run the test cases seamlessly. Now, once the processes are deployed to production, it's also that with the Clean Code dashboard or the Rise with SAP methodology dashboard, we have this Clean Code dimensions maintained or verified in real time. And also it gives you the clarity and the insights into your quality of extensions. What are the extensions which are cloud ready and upgrade stable? What are the extensions which are non-compliant? And often many customers ignore is this extensions which are never used, which is technical debt. They use in every upgrades, use it in every testing cycles, etc., but the extension is not really used. So it helps us to reduce that technical debt, giving that visibility, and helps us to get from a non-compliant extensions to that cloud ready and upgrade stable extensions. And it gives all the operations view on the health of this, basically all the parameters of the Clean Code dimensions, right? And with that, we do have the important piece, which is the adoption. When we come to the adoption, we do have WalkMe, wherein WalkMe helps us to basically with the smart tips, smart walkthroughs, and the automation. It helps us in real time for the users, also accessing basically the processes which are changed or the processes which are new, educating them, adopting them in real business scenarios. And as you see at the last, right, I mean, you have also the value which is realized. Again, this is tracked in the transition guidance where we started the journey. We see the value realized for this transformation we just did. And again, the transformation is not a one-time activity. So it becomes continued now with the next available option which can be transformed, right? I mean, in this case, it's a plan to fulfill. So that transformation becomes continuous. So in a nutshell, we make that transformation from a legacy to a modular business suite real across these steps, automating and leveraging AI agents across the integrated tool chain, basically, so that you are much faster, much confident, and also having that time which is coming down and getting that cost benefits out of that if you follow the classical approach, right? I mean, that is what the integrated tool chain then gives you up to 30% of cost, reduced cost transformation, and then up to 35% being faster. So I stop here. Now I can open up for questions.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Mohan, for your insightful session. Many thanks for the valuable demo. So now, as you've already mentioned, let's move over to the Q&A part. So let me therefore take a quick look into the chat. So to the participants, you still have the opportunity to include your questions in the chat, and we will answer them in the best possible way. So let's get started with the first one, which is, where can I find an overview of the partners that are using the Rise with SAP methodology?
So as I shared you, I can also share you this presentation. So we have the partners who are also the RISE validated partners who are certified. So these are approximately 12 partners now and more coming into the zone. So I can share you this list as part of the session. So then you can also have this list. And also in the Cloud ALM, we do have that feature wherein I just was demoing that, wherein you have this click or quality gates and you have this the Activate roadmap or the Activate methodology as a template there. There also you have basically a filter wherein you can also check for your projects which are the partners you can accommodate as the validated partners.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And as Mohan has mentioned, you will shortly after this session have access to the slides in the description of this video. So let's move over to the next question we have received in the chat. Do I have to purchase all the integrated toolchain solutions separately?
That's a great question because we hear this common. Again, like I said, just 2 weeks ago, there was a session on the new RISE entitlements and what is part of that. As of today, now we heard the customers. We hear the customers basically. So there is a bundle. Just go ahead and check the latest RISE entitlements basically. So there is the combination of Linux and Signavio there, and Cloud ALM is anyway as part of the enterprise support contract. And we do have WalkMe now with the Joule being omnipresent. So check for the latest and greatest for this session on the RISE entitlement. So we bring that together so that it gives you the complete vision of the integrated tool chain, and it helps you leverage that across your transformation journey once you have signed for the RISE contract.
Great. Thank you for the clarification here. So as mentioned, you can access our playlist in the description of this video where you will find a session on the latest Cloud ERP private package, which has just recently taken place. So there you can learn more about the solutions that are bundled in there. So we have another question in the chat, which is, what's the main value add of the tool chain and how can I best get started?
That's a very important question, and it's a great question. Basically, main value add is, I would be very honest with you and also with the customers which have worked on, right? It makes things real. It makes things between the business and IT much mature in a confident way. And apart from everything, it gives you that capability of making the transformation and avoid those failures across this transformation. Because when we talk about transformation, depending on the customer and the budget, etc., and the value which we get out of it, right? I mean, the transformation cost could be much higher, around 700 million even, right? I mean, so when we are spending that amount and also utilizing that, leveraging that integrated tool chain, as I said, it eliminates so many manual activities which was there in the past. It gives you that clarity across each of the steps and also help you reduce that manual efforts and automating things so that the cost is reduced up to 30% and it's faster so that you're there not 5 years down the line for the transformation, much before, so that you're also leveraging for your AI investments which are there with a clean foundation. So that is the key. One, it serves so many purposes. One, it reduces the cost, it fastens the time, but also it provides you that latest business suite wherein it's integrated. It provides you that foundation for reaping your AI investments. So it solves multiple things there. And how do you start? Yeah, that is the second part of the question. It's pretty good. I think with the latest RISE deals, right? I mean, or the RISE contracts which needs to be signed, we do have something called as a transformation preparation service, wherein in this service, it helps you to get this activation of the tool chain in the context of the customer. So if you are a customer who is going or was planning to sign the RISE contract, please also be aware of the service, utilize the service. It's very valuable.
Great. Thank you for shedding light on that. So let me take another look into the chat. I can currently not see additional questions. So if there are any, you still have a couple of minutes left to include them in the chat window. We're more than happy to answer them. And let me in the meantime time quickly repeat what I've outlined in the beginning. So this has been another session of an entire series on the theme of SAP Business Suite. And in our playlist, you can find all past as well as the upcoming sessions. So you can reach the playlist in the description of this video. And there you will also be able to access the shown slides shortly after today's session. So use the opportunity and take a look into that. So I can still not see any additional questions. So seems that everything has been answered in your session, Mohan. So thank you very much again for taking your time, for being with us today, for taking your time for outlining the SAP integrated toolchain strategy. And also many thanks to our participants for joining. Would, of course, be great to see you again in the upcoming weeks in one of our future sessions. So with that, I wish you a great day. Many thanks.